There is a silence that clings to the corners of the house, soft and persistent. Like dust that only appears when the light catches it just so. Once, this place breathed with life. Laughter filled the rooms. Footsteps carried purpose. Music wrapped itself around our evenings, and every moment felt vivid, alive. Now, it is only me, Mark, and the walls. And somehow, the walls still remember her. Mark rarely speaks of the loss. His grief hides behind his eyes in the seconds he lingers too long, in the slight delay of a smile. I can feel it in him, a quiet vibration that hums between us, in the rhythm of his breathing. In the stillness we pretend is peace. A year had passed since she left us. Lena, the light that once held our lives together. Her absence had left everything colder, even when sunlight poured through the windows. That night, rain whispered against the glass like a lullaby. I couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs to make tea. The kitchen light was already on. Mark stood there, shoulders tense, hands gripping the counter, staring into nothing. When he turned, our eyes met. Stillness again. That is always how it begins. Couldn't sleep? He asked quietly. I shook my head. You. He exhaled slowly. I miss her voice the most at night. The crack in his voice broke something in me. I poured 2 cups of tea and handed him one. Our fingers brushed briefly, a fleeting spark, yet the warmth lingered long after. She'd be proud of you, he murmured. So would she of you, I replied. He gave a faint smile, eyes searching mine for something neither of us could name. We stood there together, side by side, listening to the rain, and when I finally returned to bed, the quiet no longer felt empty. Something unspoken moved within it, alive and tender, aching with quiet humanity. Spring arrived slowly. I filled my days with small routines, meals, errands, fleeting bursts of laughter wherever I could find them. Mark began lingering more often on the porch, by the window, beside me at the table. His words softened. His questions grew more personal. He no longer spoke like a father checking in, but like a man remembering what it meant to feel again. One evening, I found him outside, bathed in the golden light of dusk. His hands were clasped as though holding something fragile. Mind if I join you? I asked. He looked up and smiled, and in that moment, the air between us shifted. You remind me of her, he said quietly, but you're not her. You're something else, stronger, more alive. My breath caught. I turned toward him, heart trembling. He looked away, regret shadowing his eyes. You don't have to apologize, I whispered, placing my hand over his. He didn't move away. His fingers curled around mine. It's not wrong, I murmured softly, just complicated. When he finally met my gaze, I saw everything: grief, love, and something fragile, struggling to bloom through the cracks. I don't know when it happened, he confessed. Only that when you're near, the world feels less heavy. I feel the same, I admitted. That night, I stood outside his door for a long time, listening to the silence hum between us like a heartbeat. I didn't knock, I just stood there, feeling the weight of something unnamed, too delicate to speak. Days blurred into gentleness. His touches became quiet confessions, a hand brushing my back, fingers grazing mine, fleeting moments that said everything words could not. One evening, as I cooked, he stood close, so close I could feel the warmth of him at my side. You've become the heartbeat of this home, he said softly, voice carrying the warmth of something rediscovered. I smiled. You speak in poetry. You inspire it, he replied. We ate by candlelight that night. It wasn't planned, yet it felt intimate all the same. 2 souls sharing the same quiet flicker of warmth. When I reached for the plates, he stopped me, voice barely above a whisper. Thank you for staying, for letting me feel again. Our hands separated slowly, as though something sacred had passed between us. Later, I found him asleep on the couch. I draped a blanket over him, careful not to wake him, but his eyes opened anyway. I didn't mean to wake you, I said softly. Maybe I was waiting for you, he murmured. I sat beside him. He looked at me as if he was finally done pretending. Do you ever wonder what it would feel like? He asked, no longer hiding what we both already knew. He reached for my hand, and I didn't pull away. I've lived by rules all my life, he said quietly, but nothing prepared me for you. There were no declarations, no promises, only truth. The world outside would never understand, but perhaps that didn't matter. This wasn't about replacing her. It was about learning to live again. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with noise or grand gestures. It settles quietly in breath, in light, in the way he looked at me when he whispered, "You mean everything." And in that moment, I believed him.